Good day everyone and welcome back to Career. In the previous episode that featured this ship, we made it move, and sometime after that I decided to test it out on a multiplayer server with my friend. I will put up a picture of that on screen right now. And I found some problems, namely that this thing slows down and gets to speed very fast, which it isn't meant to, and also that the speed is too low. But also I sank the ship somehow, and after that I decided that it would be a good idea to put in a lifeboat here, because we have a nice place for it here, and I think this is the best time to do it, because I wanna have a break from all of these big ships. So today we will repair the mistakes, and I will not be recording that because that's really quite boring. And then we will be building the lifeboat, and I just tried to add some waves, and yeah, I think the thing that is causing this is the buoyancy system, which is those boosters. So I guess we'll have to use pivots. It's really annoying to use pivots for buoyancy, because it's fine to not have good buoyancy, but at least give us a way to make that buoyancy realistic ourselves without brutally destroying our PCs by pivots, because they are very bad for your performance. And so I think I will just convert this to pivots. So I'm back, and now it goes actually fast. I used the trick I used on my other ship, and that is that for some reason in my 2 or 3 last ships I didn't add many pumps, so I added way more for the steam to move more, and now it's faster. I also fixed a bunch of problems with the acceleration and deceleration, as I said, and so I think now we have it all fixed. You also may be noticing that it steers a little differently. That is because I decided to basically, when the ship is under 30 knots it steers more than when it's over 30 knots, which just makes it handle way better. And so we're under 30, and yeah, and this makes it stop quite quickly. This isn't the most realistic ship out of all of my ships, but it has a bit of realism over other normal Stormworks ships, so I kinda like it. But now with that, let's head back into port and let's start work on the freefall lifeboat. So let's jump into a time lapse really quickly. Before we do so, I wanna measure this to see just how big we want the lifeboat to be. Also, before we start, because this is going to be a time lapse, I wanna ask you if you like the music I use for time lapses, because it's not used often. So what do you think about it? And now let's go with the time lapse. So we have a shell for it, and I think this looks nice. It has that kind of very sharp front you would find on such a lifeboat. So I think it's time to move on to the engines and the propulsion, which is gonna be interesting in such a small space here. Quite difficult, but yeah, I'm quite happy with it so far. I think I also picked a nice color scheme. So now the thing drives, and during the building of this I forgot to connect my RPS to the controller, which made the PID in it think that the RPS is at 0 and feed it 1 throttle, which meant that it went at an ungodly speed, and this thing went around 40 knots. Now it maxes out at 10 RPS, and I think this could be something around those 10-15 knots, and I think it's good. Let's actually test it out in some wind. So as you can see here, I added stabilizers during the building of this, and it works perfectly. Works like a dream. And why is there a deer swimming in there? Well, now we have to do the interior, which actually shouldn't be that difficult, as these things are rather simple. And we are done with this. I'm quite happy with it. I actually did some texturing here and did the interior, which looks great too. And so now we just need to put this on the ship. Alright, and we're done. We have a lifeboat. Now this is still not the end of building this lifeboat, because we need to test it out. So let's start up the reactor and then test it out. So a lot of times I'm quite reluctant to put such lifeboats on my ships because I've seen them fall off a ton during waves. So let's see if that happens with this too, and if it does, I do have an idea for how to lock it in place even better. Now let's add waves. Now they're at 100%, and as soon as we pass that island, let's go into them. Alright, it looks like it's safe and secure. Let's sail into some bigger waves and then we can see. Yeah, we'll need to secure it better, it just fell off. So this idea I had is just by using an electric connector and putting another one somewhere, let's say here. And now if it kind of slips down, this should hopefully catch it. Yeah, it looks fine. It is connected. Now I also forgot to connect the release. Now I'm just quickly gonna connect it to electricity, because I am currently using infinite electric. Alright, I've connected it, we have it finished. And now the long awaited moment. See ya! And if it ever flips, it should right itself. Yep, it does. The fins are weird. Now really, see ya!